What are some of the ripple effects, or maybe they're not ripples? What are the tsunami effects of feminism on the church today? Could you give us a practical example of how there's a negative impact in our evangelical churches?
Oh man, I think it's so pervasive that I think many people have incredibly feminist assumptions and have no idea that they do, because it's so in the air we breathe, and it's so pushed in your face everywhere in every possible venue. I mean, the propaganda is relentless on this subject. And I think, honestly, I feel like there was a pretty rigorous campaign of cool shaming the Christians, or the people who wanted to hold to a more traditional view. And I think we bought it. Like, I think Christians got embarrassed about trying to articulate a biblical position. And so we just kind of tried to keep that quiet and to ourselves so that it wasn't quite so embarrassing to say out loud. And I think it's a very short time. I mean, you do that, you just kind of turn the dial down a little bit and maybe don't say it quite so loud and not maybe into the microphone. And it just takes that before everybody forgot what you were trying to say. Like, it's gone. I feel like the next generation, just has bought it completely. I think Christians with their kids in government schools is a major part of this, because of course that's what they're going to be taught, all day long, every day for 13 years growing up. So of course that's going to be their assumption. And I think that I don't know, I just think there's been a sort of a slow creep, or maybe not so slow of a creep, of just buying into the feminist argument and then thinking that, well, I call myself a complementarian, and so that must mean that I'm fine, where you don't actually realize how many things you've taken on board that are just these really poisonous assumptions. I think it's really, truly everywhere. Like, it feels like it's really pervasive. And like I said at the beginning, I think that those same poisonous assumptions infect the ultra conservative crowd as well. Like, I think that they have taken it on board. They've believed the feminist lie, and then they've just embraced it for some reason, where it's like you have this lie about women that the feminists have told, and then a bunch of patriarchalists believed it and then said, yeah, that's what we're about. Women don't need a brain, and women don't need an education. And yeah, all a woman is for is having babies and making sandwiches. Yay, that's what we're about. And that actually is the feminist stereotype. And the thing is it was always a lie, but it's like some of the conservatives didn't quite notice, and then they just decided to own it, So that's what I mean about them sharing the same assumption. So I think the feminist lie is actually really it got into everything. So, and I think it really weirdly is even in the patriarchalist camp. So
So you're saying the ultra conservative patriarchal person and the I am woman hear me roar feminist from, they both actually have bought into the lie. And just for clarity's sake, the lie being that being a woman is unfulfilling, insignificant, boring, dull, right? Is that the lie that you're getting at?
Yeah. Or I would say not being a woman, but embracing sort of a biblical, perspective,
function, role of women.
the
Gotcha.
role of women.
Gotcha.
That's
So
just
being a wife and being a mother and those kinds of things.
Yeah. And they don't see it as a high calling at all. They see it as like, I mean, I've met guys who, I just couldn't believe that they would say these things out loud, but they would say, well, my daughters don't need an education because they're never going to have to get a job because they're just going to get married and have kids. And as if like being a mother is this brainless occupation that doesn't require anything, like it just feels like the most minimum wage job we could find. And so why should I give my daughter anything really in particular? She doesn't I remember one guy saying his daughters never needed to learn math because he was like, and I was so mad, but I was like,
because if they do know math and their daughters, well, we all know if a daughter does learn math, then they're a witch. Any woman who I'm just kidding.
Exactly.
Witch.
But it was very funny.
So I get you. So you're saying the ultra conservative and the feminist, they both bought into this lie about the womanly role, feminine role, and the ultra conservatives just said, yeah, we'll take that. We'll slap our name right on that. We're it's you don't have to have a brain. It's a menial task, and we're for it. And the feminists, the only difference is they're saying, yeah, you don't have to have a brain. It's a menial task, and we despise it. And that's really the only. But they're both buying into it.
Right.
Gotcha.
So that's why I feel like it's a really weird assumption that they both share. It's purely an emotional response to it. Like the ultra patriarchalist type says, yes, that's what I like. And the other one says, get me out of here. But that's an emotional response, but they actually share the same assumptions about reality, about the calling of a woman in that specific role in a family.
Got you. That's what you were saying all the way back at the beginning. I understand now. You're saying they both agree on the content, the tenets of the argument, but one, the difference is emotional. One is like, yeah, we like that. That sounds really great. And the other one is, you pig, how could you? And so thanks for watching this video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, we hope that you'll take a moment and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can watch more content like this. Also, take a moment and give this video a like so that it can reach more people. And take a moment and click on the bell so that you'll be notified whenever we come out with new content. Thanks so much. God bless.